Good afternoon, everybody. 12:30 on a Friday afternoon. We're here with P2P Live. My name's Mark Smith. I'm Group Managing Director of People to People in Australia and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. So it's the Friday before a long weekend. So I'm pretty excited about the long weekend. I just wish I could get out there a little bit more with the lockdowns and everything. And New South Wales and Victoria are obviously clearly still in lockdown. But I did, so instead of talking about all that bad news, I thought I'd share with you some really positive news that I saw online the other day. It's not a new thing; it's been around for a little while. But there are these peregrine falcons that actually live at 367 Collins Street in Melbourne. And thanks, Jacob, for popping them up on the screen there. So this is a picture, but actually you can visit there's a website, and they live stream onto YouTube, and the mum here, she's had two little chicks. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and so you can watch them live. It's been around for a little while, so it's an annual thing, I think, and they actually have a live stream in the foyer of 367 Collins Street in Melbourne there. So it's a fabulous thing. So there it is there. Jacob's popped the link to the website in the comments. And by the way, we can see all of your comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So during the broadcast today, if you've got any comments, then please put them in there. But I'd encourage everybody, go visit that website, check it out. You'll be completely emotionally invested. I know I was shouting at my screen going, "Where's Mum? She's left the chicks. Like, where is she? She's gone." She'll be back soon anyway. So let's. What are we going to do today? That's not what this is about. We're here to talk about jobs and employment in Australia. So we'll do today our regular numbers section, where we've got some very interesting stats from Callum Pickering from Indeed with the job postings there, just to see the effect of the recent lockdowns. Then we'll be crossing to Melbourne, where we'll be talking to Mary Sadova, who is recruiting right now for government and has got several vacancies that she wants to talk to us about. So we'll be crossing to live to Melbourne to talk to Mary about that. And then finally, we'll be speaking with Bianca Luck, the Director of Contracting Services here in Sydney, to announce the Temp of the month for the month of September. Can you believe we're in October already? Where's the year gone? So let's jump into it. Let's get straight into our regular numbers section. So as I said, this data, it's extracted from the ABS and Indeed. So the numbers that we're looking at here, and this was tweeted by a guy who I follow on Twitter, and I'd encourage everybody to do that if you're interested in these type of statistics. His name is Callum Pickering, and I'll give him a shout out now, and I can see that Jacob's popped his link to his Twitter account in the comments there. So jump in, follow him. So he tweeted this the other day, but this is from the ABS, which is the number of job ads or vacancies listed, and you can see from since 2010. So you can see obviously the COVID collapse last year, and then the meteoric rise, and then the decline more recently. But the message I wanted to pass for that statistic is that it's still extraordinarily high and well above what we'd seen before. So let's now move to the next one, which is Indeed's statistics. So if you wanted to do that for me, thanks, Jacob. So the two numbers that we're looking at here are the new postings. So they're postings that have been for less than a week, and all postings on Indeed. And it's referenced back to the beginning of 2020, so pre-COVID. And you can see the decline. So from February 2020, the decline into the depths of the COVID recession in the middle of 2020, the rise out, the Christmas break, that little dip there, and then 2021. So you can see that new vacancies have declined for the last couple of months, but only slightly down from where it was earlier in the year. But you can still see that we're 45% for new vacancies and 49% above where we were pre-COVID. And that's extraordinary to see those type listings of vacancies. And it's definitely passing through to the market, which when we chat to Mary and Bianca, we can confirm what their experience is in Sydney and in Melbourne. Let's have a look at the different states then. That's the next slide that I've got. And here we've got New South Wales and Victoria. So New South Wales 49.7 above pre-COVID, and Victoria 43% above, and then the rest of Australia 58. You can see the lockdowns affecting Victoria, with the pink dropping in the middle of 2020 there, and then more recently the declines, the up and downs that we've had for Victoria and for New South Wales. But overall, it's still a really good story in terms of the job market, and for the rest of Australia to be up 58%. I know that we're very close to having a record breaking month in WA this month, and our Auckland branch, sister company over there, has just had a record month as well. So COVID's still playing a part, obviously, in our day-to-day lives, but not really in the jobs market. Okay, so let's move on. And so what we'll do now is that we'll get things ready and have a quick chat to Mary in Melbourne. Whilst we do that, we've got a video from Mark Green, who's the manager of our contracting desk in Western Sydney, and he's recruiting some warehousing roles. So we'll just play that video while we set up with Mary.
Hello, Mark Green here from People2People Recruitment in Western Sydney. Today I just want to let you know about some warehouse roles that we are recruiting. A number of roles in excess of 20 to 30 for warehouse based close to Marylands. You will be working, opportunity to work in various teams, picking, packing, returns, put away. It's for an online store, so they anticipate getting busier as we get towards Christmas, and a lot of people doing online shopping. They have AM and PM shifts, so AM shifts tend to be anywhere from 8 AM to 3:30 PM, and PM shifts are anywhere from 4 PM to midnight. 3 days training, which you paid for, and then you would work on a casual basis. Base rate $27.83 plus super. As I said, 20 to 30 roles that currently recruiting for, and anticipate this to be an ongoing requirement for about the same number each week. As I said, it is a casual role once you've completed training, but if you want to find out more, get in contact with me on the number below. Thanks for watching.
Hi there, Mary. How are you?
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Now, you know that video there from Mark Green, he'll be mortified that I actually played that, because I know that he was very concerned about his yellow jumper. But I think it came across on the screen really well, didn't it? Like, it was vibrant.
Add some brightness into our days. It's a very gloomy day here in Melbourne, so it's quite nice.
So, well, thanks for joining us. So we should talk about the market first before we jump into these roles that you've got. So how is the market in Melbourne right now?
It's quite busy. You definitely wouldn't think we're in the middle of a lockdown, and especially if we're comparing it to this time last year and being in lockdown, it's a very different vibe, which is nice. But as always, the candidate shortages are there, and that's always going to be the hardest part. But yeah, we've definitely been able to identify some strong candidates, but it just means that they're not lasting as long as they usually would in the market. So message to everyone recruiting at the moment: if you're finding someone that you think is a great fit for your team, definitely don't wait around. Lock them in quickly. Yeah,
exactly. So your experience then is lockdown is not affecting the temporary and contracting market?
No, definitely not. I've had just over the last couple of weeks a number of temps that have started in roles. Businesses are able to onboard remotely, whether it's candidates using their own equipment or the businesses couriering out equipment to the temps. The work's there, and I think everyone can see the light at the end of the tunnel this time around. So work needs to be done. So whether it's temp or perm, they're definitely hiring, which is nice.
Great, fantastic. All right, so let's jump into these specific roles that you're recruiting for. Do you want to tell us about those?
Yeah, so we've experienced a massive demand this week with government recruitment. So we are looking at anything from project officer level right through to manager, with specific roles including a manager for COVID-19 vaccination programs, a manager within a government department for COVID closures and outbreaks, as well as a digital learning project officer and a finance officer. So if any of our audience out there has had experience working within a government department and has a valid police check, we're definitely keen to chat to you. We're expecting that there will continue to be a demand for government roles across all levels. So whether it's an administrative capacity or at that senior manager executive level, we definitely want to hear from candidates across the board.
So if somebody was, so what would be the key? So the key thing is to have experience within the government sector.
Yeah,
previously?
a lot of these roles are temporary roles. So ideally for the various departments, having knowledge on how they operate, on their processes, systems is the main priority. And a lot of the time we're going to get that from someone that has worked in a government department before. It doesn't need to be the exact department we're recruiting in, as long as they've worked in a Vic government setting before, or local government as well. That can also work with these departments. And a police check is also quite important, especially with temp work. You know, we want candidates to be ready to go, equipped with everything that they need, and that being one of the selection criteria is quite important. But a lot of these roles that we're recruiting at the moment are up until Christmas, so it'll be nice for people to have that work locked in until the end of the year, so they can get some extra pocket money to spend over the Christmas time and when we're out of lockdown.
Yeah, have a bit of a break then at Christmas, lay in the sun. Yeah. That's what I'll be looking forward to.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. and what about the rates that for these type of roles as well?
Yeah, good question. So they're ranging anywhere between $40 an hour plus super through to about $50 an hour plus super, depending on the seniority of the role. Some of the roles do require availability over 7 days. So you would still only work your 5 days, but you might be required to work weekends as well. Obviously, COVID doesn't stop on weekends, so we do need availability around the clock. But yeah, and I think the good thing is once you're in a government department, the chance to continue being employed with them is just endless. So once we're in, and it's always good to keep working with the same candidates throughout these programs.
Okay, fantastic. All right, well, thanks for joining us all the way from Melbourne. Now,
thanks
for having me. I can see that you've got shoes in the background there, Mary.
Oh, no, I don't. I've also got a poster of New York, remembering all the good times I had there. And hopefully we'll be back there soon.
We'll run with that then. Fantastic. All right. Well, great to see you again. Hopefully we'll see you again soon and in person. So let's now go to Sydney, and we'll have a quick chat to Bianca Luck, Director of our Contracting Services. And Bianca is going to talk to us about the Temp of the Month. But before we do that, how's the market? What's your experience? Sydney, Melbourne, Rivalry?
Exactly what you've just said before. So it's an interesting one. So the market certainly hasn't slowed down since COVID lockdown 2.0. So clients are competing for quality talent pretty much across the board on all areas of recruitment, often pushing the hourly rates and salaries up to get talent across the line. Counter offers, never before in my career have I experienced it so much like this, but counter offers absolutely through the roof, and clients are having to make very quick decisions, exactly what Mary was saying, in order to secure talent, in order to get people across the line. And the reason for that is because people are working remotely from home and they have access to search for jobs while they're working remotely. They don't have their manager over their shoulder looking at what they're doing. They can do virtual interviews at any one point of time. That's absolutely fine. And it's speeding up the recruitment process. So decisions are happening quickly and candidates are moving very quickly. So I keep educating my clients that, yes, we need to make a very quick decision if you want to progress with this candidate, because they're not going to be around in this market for long. So it is an interesting market. I know that my team are very much looking forward to getting back into the office towards the end of the year. We can't wait for that. But it certainly has not slowed down, Mark.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I was chatting to one of our team in Auckland this morning, and spot on, Bianca from LinkedIn. I've just seen it's an anonymous user, but big challenge for us as well. But in Auckland, she was saying that that they're having the same experience, that the clients could not, this is Adrian from Frog Recruitment there, she said clients shouldn't expect to just go to the market, redo a jobs description, put the same salary, and then go into the market and expect to hire somebody from the person who's just resigned. It's just not possible to do that anymore.
It's not possible, and it's not possible just to advertise a role and expect that you're going to get talent straight away from that role. So when we're filling jobs, there's lots of different other avenues that we do in order to tap talent in different markets, in order to get engagement and to get candidates across the line. And good quality candidates are only being available in this market for 48 hours max, and they go quickly. Just like that. So it's an interesting market.
And the wage price pressure, I should say, like the wage price index, but the pressure on salaries now, it's not in the living corporate memory. None of us really have that experience. I mean, I experienced a little bit of it when I was a young man in the late 80s, early 90s, but before, in the last few decades, we haven't had this pressure on salaries too. So if you're going into the market, then be prepared for that sort of salary pressure as well, and hourly rates for temps.
The other thing that clients cannot do at the moment is underquote an offer. So if we're representing a candidate at a certain level, if the offer comes in lighter than the candidate's expectation, even if it's $1,000 or $2,000, it's a flat out no. You almost have to offer slightly more just to get the candidate across the line, because if you don't, another client is going to do the same thing. So you're exactly right there, Mark. It is, the wages will go up, the hourly rates will go up. And it's all about locking people in to get their commitment over that period of time. And it's certainly happening. We've got lots of opportunities on the go at the moment. Project work is back, well and truly. Yeah. There's lots of IT project roles. We're recruiting a handful of roles in my team at the moment that range anything from $600 a day through to $1,000 a day. So a lot of opportunities. And just what Mary was saying, there seems to be a lot of government recruitment coming through. There was a period for about a month or so in like June where it was really quiet, but now it's very, very busy on the government side. They seem to be ramping up, certainly.
Yeah, interesting. All right, so we're actually here to talk about Temp of the Month. So
let's do that.
Let's jump into that. I'll hand over to you to talk through all of the nominations.
Great, thank you. So today I'm going to be talking about the winners for Temp of the Month for the different offices. So the first winner that we have is Amy Bracken from Melbourne. So Amy just finished her contract with us and we couldn't ask for a better employee. She exceeded KPIs we set for her and she always puts her hand up to help out. So well done, Amy. Well done to you. The second one I'm going to announce today is Sydney. So Sydney, Marnie Laprasent. So Marnie's a pleasure to have on my team. She's been proactive and always ensures that she thoroughly understands the expectation. She's a team player who assists other team members of the team. So well done, Marnie. Over to Auckland, so New Zealand, so across the water, we're going to talk about our very own Jacob Mills. So Jacob works for People to People and he's been nominated and he's an absolute delight to work with. Yeah, so well done, Jacob. He always works hard and he's full of new ideas and he's been amazing at picking up new skills along the way. So well done to you. And then we go to Brisbane. So the winner for Brisbane is Catherine Cox. So Catherine always puts in 110%, is a fantastic team player, offering her support with backlog and system work, which are totally on top of her usual responsibilities, which is nice that she's going the extra mile. So well done, Catherine. Over to Adelaide. So the winner for Adelaide is Tim Kowalenko. Tim's been working on learning new complex projects like a trooper. So working on new complex programs like a trooper, sorry. So well done, Tim. That was a bit of a mouthful, wasn't it? And last but not least is Perth. So Perth, Shelley Weaver. Shelley is working out fantastically and we're very happy to have her. So that wraps up Temp of the Month. Your consultants will get a small gift out to you to say thank you for your service and your exceptional work. The other thing I want to mention is don't forget to nominate. So if there's any clients listening today, please don't forget to nominate when you're actually approving a timesheet. Just put the reason why and also the temp that you're nominating. It's really nice to have a little acknowledgement to our temps that work really hard for us. and
Yeah,
for you
so
guys.
so when you approve the timesheet, there's a little link there saying, would you like to nominate? Go right ahead, click that link, nominate the person that's working with you. Now I know that Jacob won't do this, but I'd love to put him up on the screen, but he's sitting on his lounge in Auckland. And so I know sometimes he like changes his shirt, but he never actually goes live or puts himself onto the screen. So maybe one day we'll see. It's like Snuffleupagus from Sesame Street. You never actually see him, but he's there definitely. Rightio.
That's a good idea.
Thanks for joining us again today. We'll see you again shortly. So we're coming to the end now, conscious of time. So the last thing we wanted to do is really just talk through the Twitter poll, and it was controversial last week. And it got a lot of comments online about would you return to the office and sit next to somebody who is unvaccinated, and only 37% said yes, 62% said no. Interesting. It's about the same actually, it wasn't the same. I won't actually say that because I might be wrong, but I think it's an amazing result to think that nearly 2/3 would not sit next to somebody, but and so therefore all of the conversation that's happening in corporates boardrooms at the moment around what policies should be adopted are very important to the to staff. I mean, I'm hesitating a little bit because it is a Twitter poll. We've got to keep that on. In context there, 654 votes, but I still think it's an important, and certainly it caused a lot of conversation on Twitter as well. So if you'd like to add your 2 cents worth, at People to People, jump on Twitter and comment on the results of that particular poll. What about then the next week? We thought we'd take a little bit of a different tack here. Is it okay to befriend your co-workers and boss on social media? Should you invite your boss to be your friend on Facebook? I know what I think. What do you think? Jump online and we'll announce the results next week at People to People on Twitter. So I can see that there's a whole bunch of jobs running on the bottom of the screen here. Those links for those jobs, if you're interested in those, are also in the comments there. Thanks again for joining us on a Friday afternoon. Enjoy the long weekend. Make sure you check out the Falcons in Melbourne there. Enjoy that, and we'll see you again 12:30 Friday afternoon next week.